call this meeting to order, announcing that we do have a quorum. Tonight's invocation will be led by Councilmember Greg Abar, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilmember Florence Jackson.
Dear Lord, thank you for letting us all gather here safely tonight. Please come into our hearts and our minds and help us make the best decisions for our citizens and this city. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I now have roll call. Councilmember Evelyn Jones. Here. Councilmember Greg Abar.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Ebony Santos is not present. Councilmember Rosemary Bigby.
Here.
And Councilmember Florence Jackson.
Present.
Also present is Justin Pruitt, our city attorney, Ingrid Flournoy, our city secretary, and Dr. Annette Goldberg, our city administrator. Let the record reflect that our Mayor Pro Tem is present. At this time, we will have public comments of a general nature. Citizens who desire to address the city council with comments of a general nature will be received at this time. The total amount of time that a member of the public may address the council is limited to 3 minutes, provided that any member of the public who addresses the city council through a translator is limited to 6 minutes. In accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, the city council is restricted from discussing or taking any action on items not listed on the agenda. It is our policy to have all speakers identify themselves by providing their name and residential address when making comments. City Secretary, at this time, do we have any public comments of general nature?
Yes. So we have first Mrs. Sines.
I had an event on Friday, November the 8th, here at City Hall, to recognize the military veterans. My husband is a disabled Vietnam veteran. He didn't receive an invite. He didn't know anything about it. I mean, that's no way to let people know. I mean, you have to let everybody know everybody's treated equal. Also, it hurts me for him to be treated in this manner. And I'm going to defend him. And also, before election, we would get calls from Ms. Williams. She would even come by to see how we were doing. Election came by, election gone. No more calls from Ms. Williams. No more calls. No more visits. So, it hurts me because he's treated this way, in this manner. After all he had did for the city in the very beginning, he incorporated the city of Arcola. That's why Arcola is Arcola. That's what everybody has to trust. Okay? And that's all that.
I know that we should not respond, but I want to take the time to address them. I can't. No, but I need to. I know. I got it. But this is to the heart. I'm sorry. I did call and I left a message on your phone. I'm sorry. I did call and left a message. Also have a certificate up here that I'm going to get, that I'm going to address. But I mean, I'm sorry. I get it, Miss Hines. I did call a lot. This is something, because this is to my character and to my, and also just, I really care about y'all. And I think the last time we had a conversation, y'all said y'all were going to sue the city. And I told you that we couldn't, that then we had to go through attorney. So it's not that. Ms. Sines, I care about y'all as much as I always have. Yes, and I called and left a message, and I'm going to recognize him.
You called at 8:40 in the morning Friday morning, 8:40 a.m. You didn't call, you left a message. We don't check messages. We didn't check it till later on in the evening. So I forgot to say that to our judge.
Council member, the next citizen to speak, Mr. Burden for Mr. Mike Signs, on behalf of Mike Signs.
I'm sorry. Is he? Can you not speak, Mr. Sines? I think you can speak. Well, I don't think we. If you're able to speak, you can come up and speak. And that's how we've always done it, unless you need a translator. And that's. Thank you, Mr. Bird, that he's able to speak.
My name is Mike Sines. I'm giving my 3 minutes to Mr. Burton to add to his time.
Mr.
We're not
Sines,
gonna do that.
that's the mayor's policy about public information, about public meeting policy, if you speak, the only way to divert your time is if you cannot speak. So then you can divert your time to a translator. But then, it's the mayor's policy. And she provides, she announces that every year. You have 3 minutes, you have 3 minutes. I
No,
know.
I don't have to. Today is just a piece of what it should be. And I know how to put it in minutes.
Mayor, the next speaker is Mr. Nick Patel.
Good evening. My name is Nick Patel, and I'm a developer for the Arcola community. It's a manufactured housing community. And last year in March, I presented why I want to connect with the city board. And at that time, I explained them that how city is going to benefit. They're going to collect the water bill for about $250,000 a year from my property. Plus, they'll get the benefit about 100,000 plus from the taxes and everything. After we agreed on everything, then we have the annexation agreement was signed by the city. And then we have a development agreement signed by the city and notarized and everything. It was prepared by the city's attorney. As of today, I have back and forth so many emails and I get very few response on these things. And I'm getting a runaround on these things. And the city is telling me, oh, we're going to have a meeting, we're going to discuss, we're going to do this and that and everything. But no concrete answer from the city. Now I don't understand where do I go because all my plans was approved by the city and that's how we created this infrastructure. Now if city is not going to provide the water, then I have to redo the certain part of the property. I need to redo that thing, and that's going to cost me a lot of money. As it is costing me so much money. And if city cannot come to the conclusion, I have to take the plan B. And I hope you don't want me to go to the plan B, but there is an option available. And if you guys cannot give me proper answer, I don't want round and round and round. I need proper answer whether you can provide the water or not. If you want to provide, what is your condition and everything. If I like it, we decide. If you don't, then we go with route B. Thank you.
The next speaker is Michael Signs.
Burden, but I guess that's changed now. Probably been he could speak, but I guess y'all trying to shut him up. But
You have something to say? We're listening.
okay. Well, Miss Williams, you were hounding my mom and dad at the very beginning before election. You and Ebony was over there. I think y'all both went and made them or told them to sign these papers for the DA against Mr. Burton. Okay, that happened. Y'all were bothering him about that. Then during the election time, you were also saying about the police. I'm only saying this because I watched your video, your state of whatever it was, and some of that stuff you're saying on there. People that don't know Arcola, you know, some of it's not true. So Mr. Burton, at the beginning, it was like, oh, she did this, she did that. No, 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 no. If it wasn't for the prior mayors to you, they got this already started. All I've seen you do is for the people that post up. Okay, that's what I say. Okay, post up. I'm gonna let you know. They'll never be the real Arcola. They may be in the city, then they're never gonna be known as the real Arcola. Another thing is before election, you were out there saying that all these police were up and they were down 521 with the Mexican people coming out of the Mexican rodeo. This came from you to me, and that they were uh, getting money from them. The police were taking money. If that's true, then why don't you get rid of them? Why are they still here? We talked about Stillberg, we talked about everybody in there that praised you on that documentary. Everybody that praised you on it. Yes, ma'am. You said everything. They were going to be gone and this and that. Also, you think it was right? No, it's not. Your community for the kids. But when you step down from there, but you're your partner here, you put her in charge. You should have put it out, sit it out to let everybody have a chance. Why is it yours? You're still part of it. Your sister, everybody is still family, still part of it. So that's not right. So just if you say you're for the people, be for the people. Don't just come when you need something. And I think that's all I have.
Tell them what you have to say.
I don't know. I'm trying to just make him be quiet, I guess, because he's exposing everything. Also, the check for $65,000 or whatever, like they were saying about for the attorney fee. I thought, well, I know it was issued by the court that they were supposed to pay on their own, not the city pay for it. So, then there's other people looking into this matter. Yeah. Thank you for your time.
That's it, Mayor, for that, for the public comments of that. No. It's, he's done it for the agenda items.
Okay, so now we'll move to the consent and regular agenda items. Citizens who desire to address the city council with regard to matters on the consent agenda or regular agenda will be received either at this time, or if you state, you can do it at the time that they're during the consideration of the item. The total amount of time that a member of the public has to address the city council on a given item is 3 minutes. Provided that any member of the public who addresses the city council on a given item through a translator is limited to 6 minutes. Comments or discussion by the city council members will only be made at the time the agenda item is scheduled for consideration. It is our policy to have all speakers identify themselves by providing their name and residential address when making comments.
I have Miss Betty Hall.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, everyone. I attended the state of Arcola on last month and want you to know that as a citizen that the greater part of my life it has been spent in Arcola. And the things that it appears that you're doing, wanting to do, make me proud. So I am trusting that between yourself and the elected council, that it will be a united front, that these things can hopefully go forward. Um, I have observed for some time now since the election, missed a couple of times, and I guess because I am somewhat of a people person, I have been observing the body language of the elected members, and it has been a bit disappointing for me to be able to see that there's not unity. And I don't know if the loyalty lies with the city or with an individual. And I guess I might add too is that I guess since you've been elected, we haven't talked either. So I think I might get upset with you as well. So anyway, I mean, yeah, when I heard that, I'm like, hey, we haven't talked. But the biggest part of what my concern is this, is that if the city is going to go forward, it is going to take unity. At some point, it is hopeful that everybody will be on board with this current administration because I think regardless of the administration, The goal is for the city. So I pray that this is kept in mind for the city, and whatever differences it may be, let it be worked out for the good of the city, because everyone that's in here lives in the city. So I hope that it can be done. And, along with the fact of, our previous mayor, the mayor prior to you, was here, and I know a number of times that I had concerns with him that I need to share with him. He said, Miss Hall, I have a great deal of respect for you. We've talked. And I would go to him in his office privately a couple of times that I did and share with him. And it is my desire that, I guess, he's a citizen and he has the right to speak the concerns. But I hope and pray that the city council can become united. I hope and pray that perhaps each time he gets up, not only the concerns that are here, but perhaps it can be something positive that is shared also about what has come forward over these last 6 months. But most importantly, if we can get together, Arcola can definitely be not just a detour, but a destination city. But like any family, it takes unity to be able to do that. So I hope and I pray, because there's a prayer that's said before each
Ms.
meeting,
Hall, your time is up. Thank you.
fulfill that prayer.
We now have Mr. Rod- Rodrigo Carrion speaking about agenda item 12A, the annexation and development agreement.
Good evening to council. Council speak relating item 12A against this annexation or postpone this annexation for meantime, because I haven't seen no additional lanes added to 521 to increase traffic flow, which is right now being bumper to bumper and dangerous. So more annexation, more expansion, without a good flow of traffic, good roads, it's very difficult to make it for present residents living already here and getting to work. So it'll be good until we see additional lanes be added to 521, or until it's completed, done first, make sure our traffic flow and big trucks can move smoothly. Otherwise, it's bumper to bumper and dangerous, even to our school district, affecting our student increases. Um, and because of Fort Bend ISD bad rezoning, we have vacant schools on the north side, trying to push all his kids over here to the south side just to build more schools. Even my own school, Blue Ridge Elementary, has been abandoned for the past 60 years. That instead the school district is going to sell and tear down my school. Why? Because they never cared about our east side students living here over here on the east side. So Fort Bend ISD has been doing a bad job, and plus Fort Bend ISD is in debit problem that it can't afford increase more students and build more schools, while our state is failing to turn down our public school district. Instead, they're buying some vulture schools, which we poor people on this side can afford. So we need to make sure our schools are properly funded correctly before increasing more residential and developing around our areas. And that's why it makes it different to talk to our lawmakers and other public officials to make sure they're doing the job right and treating us correctly, and not be leaving our vacant schools like Marshall High School, Willowridge High School. We got lots of under 60% capacity because why? Fort Bend ISD wants to keep Elkins overcrowded, Rich Point overcrowded, just to build Crawford when we have the vacant schools over there and being alone and abandoned. They're not being taken seriously, and just to what benefit in developing and increasing developing. So main issue right now is our traffic flow on 521 south side and north side 521. And so this issue can be postponed and can come back later once we see things moving forward. Okay, thank you.
Next, we have Mr. Fred Burton speaking about agenda item 12A and open records and financial. In financial.
All over the place. Yeah, good evening, City of Arcola Council. Uh, see that on item 12A, look like that my people that I elected or their voices or their vote is being taken from them. well, so trying to be taken from them as far as leaving you, the mayor, to make all the decisions for the city without having council's input. You just want to go and approve everything this guy wants to do. You forget about this guy right here. I always said the name of this place was going to end up being Nino Kozel, so I guess that's right. Next, the financial records. You've been in the office 6 months, and we have not one financial report. I mean, you said, and you said all the time, that you want to be transparent. After 3 months, you said, give you time. I don't know how much time you need. I know this is a job that you got to hit the ground running. You got to grab it, the baton when it's passed to you. But seems like to me, with the level of spending that's done at this city hall on a daily basis, that kind of spending, you should be able to tell these taxpayers, you should be able to tell these taxpayers where the funds are being done, are being spent. Now, the $62,718.25 check that was written for the Sanko, uh, her legal problem, and whatever, Jones, you know, that money, if it wasn't nothing high when we got the check, I see you blotted out signature. And on the letter, you said that it could have people's social security numbers, credit card numbers. That's just a signature. There's nothing wrong with us seeing the signature. But I guess y'all was trying to hide which what it is you're hiding, because it took me to bring this kind of room with these kind of people concerned about that particular check. And for the simple fact that even though we wasn't supposed to pay it with taxpayers' money, that was the second most expensive thing you did in the city. First thing you did was you gave, well, you all got $47,000 from the summer program. And looked like that was the first thing you put on the agenda for this year's budget was $47,000. A lot of spending, but no accountability. You say you want to be transparent. Where's the transparency? We're not getting told. We're not seeing the financial records. I don't know. How long can you go without delivering the financial records? And what's, hey, in my time, I'm just asking. If you want to do that and you want to keep the city involved and you want to be transparent and honest, say it again, honest with the city of Arcola and these citizens, you would at least give us some kind of financial record. That's all. I appreciate what you said. I know we didn't always get along, but at the end of the day,
We have one last one, and that would be Geronimo Cortez.
Good evening.
I just want to say a couple of things. That if four-wheeler, somebody ride four-wheeler every day, every evening, on my street, driving at the station, stopping and stop time. And if somebody pull a trailer behind me, boy, you top the trailer, ride like a crazy. And no, I don't see police officers go over there or no day, traffic go behind the four-wheeler, you don't do nothing. I don't know what copy, who did, but I see the cop behind it, he do nothing. The girl go this way, he go this way. And somebody gonna get hurt. I didn't know it's legal to the four-wheeler guy in the street. So I just want to, you know, I want to say that. And you need to clean it out this too. The ditches right there by the pipes. You got about that much of the water go. It take about 4 weeks for the water can go. That's all I can say. Thank you.
Mayor, that concludes our public comments.
At this time, we have city council comments. In accordance with section 551.0415 of the Texas Government Code, the city council of the city of Arcola may receive reports about items of community interest from city staff and or members of the city council, but no action or possible action shall be taken or discussed concerning the subject of such reports, except as provided by section 551.042 of the Texas Government Code. At this time, Councilmember Jones, do you have any comments?
No, since we can't comment on it, it's the same.
Councilman Abel?
No comment.
Mayor Pro Tem?
I'm glad to see so many new faces. That some of my neighbors and some new faces that came tonight to the meeting. I hope y'all can come more.
Councilman Dickey? Councilman- I will reserve my comment for a little bit later on the agenda. So, and yes, no, yes, yes, sir. At this time, we'll proceed to our consent agenda.
Yes, Mayor. We are at seven consent agenda. A, consideration of and action on the approval of the minutes of the regular and special meetings of October 8th, 2024 and October 22nd, 2024.
Okay, at this time, can I get a motion to approve it, please?
I make a motion that we approve the meetings on October 8th, 2024 and October 22, 2024.
Motion has been made by Councilmember Jones, second by Mayor Pro Tem Cinco. All in favor? All opposed? Minutes are approved.
Now we're at agenda item 8, presentations. This is information only. 8A, municipal court suite proclamation, mayor and municipal court.
Members of our municipal court, you all are being here today, and it's my honor to present to you all this proclamation, and I will read it aloud. Whereas municipal courts play a significant role in preserving public safety and promoting the quality of life in Texas. Whereas more people come in contact with municipal courts than any other Texas courts combined, and public impression of the Texas judicial system is largely dependent upon the public's experience in municipal courts. Whereas the city of Arcola has hosted the Arcola Municipal Court since October 21st, 1997. Whereas state law authorizes the municipality to either appoint or elect a municipal judge for a term of office, the Arcola Municipal Court is a state court, and its judges are members of the state judiciary. Whereas the procedures for the Arcola Municipal Court operations are set forth in the Texas Code of Criminal Procedures and other laws of the state of Texas. Whereas the city of Arcola is committed to the notion that our legal system is based on the principle that an independent, fair, and competent judiciary will interpret and apply the laws that govern us, and that judges and court personnel should comply with the law and act in a manner that promotes public confidence in the integrity and impartiality of the judiciary. Whereas Arcola municipal judges are not policymakers for the city of Arcola, but bound by the law and canons of judicial conduct, and are required to make decisions independent of the governing body of the city council, city officials, and employees. Whereas the city council recognizes that the Constitution and laws of the state of Texas contain procedural safeguards in criminal cases for all defendants, including indigent defendants, and supports the Arcola Municipal Court in compliance with such legal requirements. Now therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Arcola, Texas, that the week of November 4th through 8th, 2024, is hereby recognized as Municipal Court Week in recognition of the fair and impartial justice offered to our citizens by the Municipal Court of Arcola.
Thank you, Mayor.
Judges, sergeants,
Thank you, Mayor.
yeah, thank y'all so very much for all y'all do. Okay, can y'all stand up behind- can y'all stand up behind me after this picture? Thank y'all so very much. Thank you.
Okay, now we're at 8B, October 2024 permit monthly report. Ms. Lanisha Garrett, permit manager.
Good afternoon, Mayor,
Good afternoon.
council, and all those present here tonight. I am here to give you the permits department monthly report for the month of October 2024. We have issued 6 building permits, 1 driveway permit, 1 electrical permit, 1 field dirt permit, 5 mechanical permits, 1 preliminary plat, 8 plumbing permits, 1 solar permit, and 2 water sewer checks, for a total of 26 permits for the month of October. Are there any questions?
Thank you for your
Thank you.
Now we're at 8C, Laserfish update. Ms. Annette Goldberg, city administrator. Eight E, 8D, city engineer report. Mr. Lawrence Turner, Calusa Inc.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
The only item that I'm going to update you on is tomorrow we'll have a bid opening for the rehab of the sanitary sewer lift station that's located at the intersection of Dallas and Maynard. That was the one that we bought before you all, probably, I guess, about a month ago. So we'll open up bids tomorrow, evaluate the bids, and then next month you'll have that on your agenda for consideration. Other than that, there's really nothing else for me to update you on. All right?
8E, police update, police chief Carl Bryant.
Good evening, Council and Mayor.
Good evening.
So I'm gonna update you guys from January to October. I haven't had a report in a while. So we'll go over all the activities. So the total cost of service that we have had for January to October is 13,439. We've written 2,712 citations, 1,000 warnings. We've had 354 other agency assists, 140 accidents, 25 arrests, for a total of 17,670. We've had some community outreach. We did some landscaping for seniors. We went out and cut 2 seniors' properties that were unable to cut the grass, and we noticed it was high. We also have had coffee with the cops. We did a back to school backpack giveaway. We did bingo and badges. Hurricane Barrel, we did a water distribution and a food drive for the city. We also did National Night Out. We participated in the Cultural Festival with our trunk or treat. And we just recently did the Veterans Day brunch where we took breakfast for veterans here last Friday. And our upcoming community outreach is going to be our Thanksgiving senior luncheon, which I think we have like 20 people signed up. And we're going to do enough for 50 people. So that's going to be November 23rd, 2024 from 11 to 1. If you want to sign up to come have lunch with us, make sure you call Rebecca and she will ask you to do it. And that's all I have for my report. But we'll start the roll. and October 14th. And that completes
Uh, we have agenda item 8F, introduction of new personnel. That would be Police Chief Carl Bryant, and Dr. Goldberg, City Administrator.
So we've been busy in the police department. We, we've hired 5 new officers. One officer is not here. He is actually out on a call. It's Officer Kalen. He is Asian. So if you see him, okay, yeah, he's Asian. So that's our new officer. His name is Axel Kalen. He comes from pretty new. He was only an officer 4 months before joining the city of Arcola. So that's here with Officer Gant. Officer Gant comes to us with 4 years prior experience. And then we have Officer Jones, Asia Jones, who comes to us 4 years prior experience also. And then we have Officer Kalen Junius, and he has 5 years prior experience. And then Officer Anthony Jones, that has 2 years prior experience as an officer for 4 years as a jailer. So these are your new Arcola Police Department officers.
Thank you, guys.
And Mayor and Council, from the administrative side, we have a very needed position that we have talked about for many years, and we finally executed. We now have Priscilla Grant. Priscilla, just come join me. She is our community development coordinator. She will be responsible for grants. And many of us have talked about the need for grants in the city. She's going to be responsible for that, along with engaging the community in all aspects regarding city activities. And so she has accolades that are very, very long. We are so privileged to have her. So I'm going to let her tell you all the accolades.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, and thank you, Dr. Goldberg, for giving me this opportunity. The same 13 words that brought me here over 30 years ago, that too often when people need our best, we give them our worst, are the same words that brought me back to Arcola 30 years later and put me on a path that I've been on. My plan is not with man, it's with God. And for the last 30 years, I've served what? People, to the best of my ability, and it allows me to give the best that I have. And so I've sat and listened to a lot of things. The election is over. Dr. Williams, I know her heart. That's why when she called me, when the former mayor wanted to have a youth program, I came because I knew within her heart it's pure and it's Arcola. She has the accolades and everything else to do and be whoever she wanted to be, but the only thing she's ever wanted to do is serve her community. And so I applaud her for that. And I believe, beyond any reasonable doubt, that I have the most and highest credentials as anyone in this room, and it's to be in the human race. If your frequency is low, I hope that as we move on through this process, that you'll work to raise it rather than try to tear others down. Mayor Dr. Vita Williams has spent a lot of time here in Arcola to get it right, because we're in a time period in this moment, Arcola will never be the same again. And she has dedicated her life and her time to that. And what you don't see, you can't speak on. And those who live in glass houses should not throw stones. Any call, anyone calls her, she's going to answer. The only reason that she doesn't answer is that you don't reach out in order to make contact with her. She goes above and beyond to serve this community, and she always has, ever since I've known her for the last 30 years. So I just want to commend you, Mayor Williams, and if she calls and whatever she does, she asks me, as long as it's not going to kill me or hurt someone, I'm going to be here for you to help you serve this community. Thank you.
Agenda item 8G, State of the City, Mayor Williams.
Thank you. We were gonna play the video for the state of the city. I think it's about 6, 7 minutes. Just to let everybody know what we've been doing in the city. And one thing I can assure you, I have the people who work here for me, with me at the city. They know that I'm always on them about what can we do for the citizens here in Arcola. It's not a day that goes by I'm not calling somebody, and I know they're sick of me, whether it's a city attorney, whether it's city engineer, whether it's our permits administrator, city administrator, whatever. We are always focused on what we can do for the citizens of Arcola. I can assure you, yes, we had a financial director that ended up taking another job unexpectedly. So we are preparing for our audit. And so, yeah, you haven't probably gotten the updates that you normally are accustomed to. But I can guarantee you, there's not a penny on my watch that's going to be spent that does not have something to do with providing services for our home. That's all I focused on since I've been here. As soon as I got in here, Hurricane Beryl came pretty much. And we have been reeling from that, and we have been trying to focus on that. So with that said, I'm not going to allow the other stuff that comes in. I get it. Um, I wish, former mayor, I wish you would work with me. I've said this again. I've extended this to you so many times. From day one, from my first day when I sat in this seat, it's been nothing but criticism. Not even giving me an opportunity to do anything. Now I'm doing stuff, then it's a problem doing that. So listen, I'm not going to allow people to come in and malign the character of these people who are working on behalf of the city and say what we are doing or what we're not doing. I'm going to always speak the truth. My city attorney sometimes tells me to just be quiet, don't say anything. But I'm going to tell you, I know what's in my heart. And I'm not going to sit here and allow y'all to put me down or to put the council down or to put the staff down just because you got to axe the grind. You got to axe the grind with me because of an election. I'm done with that. I'm going to press forward. I've been saying that. We've been pressing forward. And you know what? We spent a lot of time and we're spending a lot of money on stuff that was done in error in the last administration. So you know what? I had said I'm not going to go that route, but let me tell you something. I'm going to tell the truth. And if y'all got time, I got a whole bunch of truth to tell. But right now, we're going to play the video, and then we'll move on from there. Because I'm just not going to, I'm not going to be maligned, and I'm not going to allow this administration to be maligned simply because somebody wants to stroke their ego. It won't happen. And welcome to our Arcola City Hall.
I'm Vita Williams, I'm the mayor of Arcola, Texas. As growing up here in Arcola, I never saw myself up in the seat. So being able to be here and never give back to the community. Arcola for me is a lot of my family. I'm from the youngest of 12 kids. proud to be part of the Williams clan.
If that's not gonna play right, I don't know. You can check it out on the link that's on the City of Arcola on YouTube page. You can find it out there because it's uploaded there. But since we want to address some issues, since we're talking about the state of the city, um, uh, the state of the city, we are really trying to move forward. Uh, and I'm gonna share some things. We talked about one of the things I think the citizens and the community was concerned about, and Mr. Burton is putting out the $65,000 of taxpayer dollars are missing, and no one wants to say what happened to it. Stay tuned. So it's the check that he's been talking about. We voted on that in open forum out here 5-0 to pay those legal fees. And why do we have to pay legal fees? We had to pay legal fees because our council members had to sue the mayor in order to get him to do what he was supposed to do. The mayor was found guilty of committing ultra virus acts, which means that he was acting outside of his legal authority. As a result, the $65,000 that he's talking about we had to pay on behalf of the council members, that wouldn't have had to be paid at all if he wasn't acting outside his legal authority. What he doesn't tell you is that they spent $114,000 defending against that, and he was still found guilty. And in doing so, we found out a couple of things in my research. Because he was acting outside his legal authority, the city should not have paid his legal bills. Because anytime you acting outside of the scope of legality, we can't support that. So we made, on top of that, the city attorney that was there at the time was also, one of the city attorneys was also found guilty of committing these acts. And they should have recused themselves because there's no way they can act outside the legal scope on behalf of the city. You can't do it. And then benefit to the tune of $114,000. So we are going to be seeking ways to get that money returned. And if he was never acting outside of his legal authority, the council members never would have to file a suit to make sure the city starts getting back within the boundaries of legality. So with that said, again, we will be pursuing those monies. On top of that $114,000, we're looking to get repaid that $62,000. What's the exact number? $62,000 and something. We're gonna be looking to get that repaid. So on top of that, the mayor puts out, what in the world is going on South Pine Street and 521? They're allowing the poor citizens over there to be drowned out by that development. So I'm gonna tell you about the state of the city of Arcola. The state of the city of Arcola is in good hands because as long as I sit in this seat, we will not allow development that he permitted, that he signed off on the permits before I got in and signed it the day before he left office. Those people over there had a development that was coming up that really was going to flood out the people on South Pine. We put a stop work order to them. We told them they cannot work because we sent out the engineers, we sent out an inspector. They both said if we got a good rain, it was going to flood those people out. We put a stop work order on there, said you need to correct all of these problems. That's what they are doing right now, correcting those problems. And I will not, I can assure y'all, allow them to resume normal work until everything that is on that list is taken care of and inspected. We have several stop work orders because of the same thing that was done under that prior administration. Then this thing about, can anyone tell me what the facility groundwork for the city of Arcola, and if so, what's the position? Now you know the position. It was voted on. We voted on the FTEs right here in open court, in open session. There's nothing that we have hidden, not one thing. And it is a benefit. She's been working in this community for 30 years. She's qualified to do the job. And yes, we need it. And so we need to recoup some of those monies. But the last thing we want to talk about, there was an agreement that you made in your administration to the tune of impact fees should have been paid to the tune of $1,061,062. Well, these numbers are all off. $1,061,720. $1 million. You know how much we got of that? Not one penny. Not one penny. And it was not a valid agreement. And so what we are trying to do is we're trying to make right. We're having to spend time. We're spending y'all's money. We're spending y'all's money revisiting stuff that was not done properly in the last administration. And I hate to bring it out like this, but when you call me to the carpet, the way you all are doing, I'm fighting for this city. And I'm gonna fight for my character and for my, and for the integrity of this council every single time. So we are gonna be fighting to get, I can guarantee you, Justin, we're gonna be fighting to get our $177,000 back. So just know that that's what we'll be doing. And we are working on behalf to make sure that the money that's supposed to come into this city and to the residents, we will be making sure that we get it. So I'm sorry, y'all. I'm passionate about Arcola, and I'm gonna always speak up about it. So and look, my door is open. I'm up here 5 days a week. It's a part-time position. I'm up here 5 days a week. It's open. Anybody who want to come in and talk to me, I'm open. I mean, it's an open door policy. So I don't know what else to say, but look, the state of the city is good. We are working on the drainage. Fort Bend County just finished doing the drainage ditches over in Pinedale Manor. They're going to be doing our, like I said, the parking lot. They're going to be doing our community center. They just did many of you, if you've seen the manholes in your neighborhood, they've been raised, and that's just so that so much drainage, so when it rains, the drainage doesn't get into the system. We're getting ready to participate in a wastewater treatment expansion. We're going to be trying to expand our water capacity. This city is on the move. I don't have, sometimes I have to take time to address all these issues, and I'm sorry, since everybody come in at one time, I got to address it all at one time. And so when you come, if you're coming for a fight, I'm ready for it. So bring it on. Okay? No, you've already had your 3 minutes. So at this time, y'all, we can move on to the next item on the agenda.
Mayor, now we're on to 9, regular agenda items. 9A, discussion, consideration of, and possible action on accepting the October 2024 Municipal Operations and Consulting report. Roland Leal, MOC Area Manager Operations.
Good evening, Council. Good evening, Mayor. I gave y'all a copy of your operating report in front of y'all. We'll start with page 1. We're looking at water connections. We have 905. 16 of those were vacant. To the right is your sewer connections. We have 1,849. Just below, your well produced 7,900,000, and your gallons filled was 7,471,000, which put us at a 95% accountability. Just to the right is your September delinquent accounts for Arcola. Your water and sewer accounts, you have 80 delinquents, and for sewer only 55. Just below, your revenue total is $162,000, $38,000. And just below is your wastewater treatment plant. It has been sampled and impermeated, and it's operating at 39% accountability. If you turn your page, this is your wastewater, how it reacted to everything that was going on throughout the month. Just below, you'll see where the numbers are. You'll see total flow gallons. I think that's something we talked about. For this month, it took in 7,926,000 gallons. Out of that 7,926,000, your total flow from freshwater one was 3,390,000 with 500 gallons, which they put in 42% of that total gallons that took into the plant. Just below, we averaged at 264,200. That's where we got that 39% committed capacity. One of the things I want you to look is at the bottom, your total rainfall, about 2.5 inches. Without those manholes being raised, we would have seen a little effect where it says total gallons on yellow on the top left. If you notice, you don't see much of an effect. So it's showing that we're already seeing a little bit of the progress those raised, because it wouldn't have took much. 2.45 would have been a lot for it. So you don't see where it was changed. So it looks like we're getting good results out of that. If you turn your page, is your DMR. This is what was sampled by the lab. The main thing to take out of this is your E. coli, which is what goes into the water. That's a pathogen that usually kills fish. We were in good standing in that. So that's all I have for y'all, unless y'all have a question for me on the operating report.
Can I get a motion, please?
I make a motion to approve the October 2024 MOC report.
Motion has been made by Mayor Pro Tem Sanko, second by Councilmember Jones. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you.
We're at 9B, discussion, consideration of, and possible action on adopting a resolution authorizing municipal operations and consulting to enter into an agreement with Purify to replace a 1,000-gallon double-walled chlorine vertical storage tank for the wastewater treatment plant, not to exceed the amount of $7,050 in surprise fund. Mr. Roland Leal.
Yes, ma'am. Once again, this is a tank that we have at the plant. This houses the chlorine chemical, which is what treats your effluent that goes out into the creek. We have two of those tanks. One of the tank has breached. It got a crack, which is in the inside, and then eventually the outside. These are double walls. They have to be double walled by TCQ regulations for this reason. The reason why we need to replace this is because we have to have a standby of chemical just in case situations like this happen. That's required by TCEQ as well. Once again, for this same reason, because if we wouldn't have that other tank and we lost the chemical, we wouldn't be able to treat the water that's going into the effluent, and then we'd be out of permit and cause issues. So what I'm asking for today is that we enter a contract or agreement with Purify and then to not exceed $7,050 to get this 1,000 gallon replaced so we can be back in permit to replace TCQ.
Make a motion that we approve the $7,050 for the chlorine vertical storage tank.
Motion has been made by Councilmember Abar, second by Councilmember Jones. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion is passed.
Thank you.
Okay.
9C, discussion, consideration of, and possible action on adopting a resolution designating the chief of police as the authorized individual to oversee, manage, and execute any and all documents related to the Motor Vehicle Crime Prevention Authority Grant Program. Police Chief Carl Bryant.
So we have applied for a grant to get 4 SWAT cameras installed throughout the city. This will help deter crime. It'll help us with stolen vehicles, catalytic converter theft, and all that. So there'll be positioned throughout the city, 4 different cameras, and this grant will help us to get those. I think the grant covers 80 to 85%, and we'll be responsible for the remainder, which is less than $3,000. You can complete the resolution for that.
Make a motion that we approve the resolution designating the chief of police as oversee and execute
Second.
Motor Vehicle Crime Prevention Authority grant program.
Motion has been made by Councilmember Abar, second by Councilmember Biggie. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The motion is passed. Thank you.
9D, Discussion consideration of and possible action on adopting a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documents sponsoring the proposed River Ranch subdivision street tie in to FM 521, Mr. Lawrence Turner, Calusa Inc.
Good evening again. So this item before you right now, TxDOT requires that anytime there's a new street tie-in, that they get a sponsorship letter from the city before they will issue a permit. They will go through the permit process. And this is, I mean, it's pretty much something that's done no matter whether you're a city, a county, or what have you. And so we prepared a draft letter for execution for them to submit the permit. And the permit would be issued in the city of Arcola's name. They wouldn't be responsible, the city would not be responsible for the construction or anything like that. It's just for them to be able to get that permit. That's pretty much it right there. You should have that letter in front of you. I'll entertain any questions that you may have of me.
Any questions? May I get a motion, may I get a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution authorizing the mayor to execute any document sponsoring proposed residential subdivision.
Motion has been made by Mayor Pro Tem Sanko, second by Councilmember Jones. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? The
Thank you.
motion carries.
9E, discussion consideration of and possible action on adopting a resolution amending the City of Arcola Police Department pay scale. Police, oh no, we changed it to Justin. Sorry.
How the process would be to adjust the pay scale for the police department, all of the police chief present what she's done with it. The way you do this, like I think you mentioned earlier, is that so that you adopt in your budget, you adopt a capacity of full-time equivalent to jobs. So you, from what I understand, this already been a lot of the amount of money to cover what's changed. But I think based on based on some internal, review and some external, analysis of the department, that in order to continue to attract a good quality of talent that keeps doing the better for the department to raise the scale, pay scale, et cetera.
So, you should have a copy of the proposed pay scales and what we're in the current pay scale. And you should also have some backup to show, cities around us. Where we're at now on our starting pay is what a dispatcher in Missouri City makes. And, based on, some studies we've done, it would be beneficial if we want to get quality applicants in here and quality police officers that are going to come and stay and not, leave after they get trained, that we raise, the pay scale.
I make a motion that we approve the resolution amending the Arcola Police Department pay scale.
Motion has been made by Councilmember Abor, second by Councilmember Digby. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion
Thank-
is carried.
Thank you.
9F, discussion consideration of and possible action on adopting a resolution allowing the City of Arcola to expand the City Hall Maintenance Department. Mayor Williams.
I'm gonna let, the city administrator speak on this.
Mayor and council, if you recall, a couple of budgets ago, we actually had 4 FTEs in the maintenance department. We then brought it down to 3, and that is not working. And we have looked at a possibility of hiring a new FTE, which is a total comp of about $37,000. That means pension and benefit, or contracting. And the supervisor of that department has preferred that we hire an FTE versus contracting services out at this time. So we are asking that you support the wishes of the supervisor for the maintenance department, and that is hiring one FTE.
So you saying we were hiring two contractors first, like
No, we did look at that option of hiring a contractor to provide that service, but the supervisor has requested that we hire an additional person versus contracting at this time.
Yeah, but we was looking at a company, like a small company close in the area.
Make a motion that we approve the resolution extending the maintenance department from 3 to 4 full-time employees.
Second. Motion has been made by Councilmember Abar, second by Mayor Pro Tem Senko. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion is carried.
Agenda item 10, plans, plats, and permits. 10A, discussion, consideration of, and possible action on adopting a resolution accepting the public infrastructure facilities for Post Oak Point Section 3 in the city of Arcola, Texas, as recommended by the city engineer, Mr. Lawrence Turner, Calusa, Inc.
Good evening again. So the item that you have before you this evening is for accepting the maintenance of the streets and public infrastructure for Post Oak Point Section 3. After generally what happens is after the construction is complete, we do a one-year walkthrough a year later to make sure that everything's good, that if there's any deficiencies or anything like that before we take acceptance and bring it into our system, that all those items are addressed. That has happened. That actually happened back in August. And so we're bringing this for you right now. The punch list items were created, and Calusa Inc. is recommending that the city accept these facilities into your maintenance system. And so we'll be doing this moving forward with any and everything. So it's a public record that this is ours. So there's no questions. There's no, what happened. No, it'll be on board on the books. I'll entertain any questions.
What type of things that the city accepting responsibility?
All public infrastructure, which include water, sanitary sewer, storm sewer, paving in the public road right of way. It does not include the detention pond or park amenities or anything like that.
The streets are responsible for
Yes,
that?
that is
Sidewalk?
That's correct. Anything in the public right of way.
And
The road right of way. Yes, sir.
So the only thing in exception here is just the storm,
The detention pond.
the detention. We're
Yes,
still
sir.
responsible for like the storm drain.
That discharge into it, that drain the streets. Yes, sir. We're not responsible for the landscape reserves, those type of things. That's the management district. Any other questions for me?
Need a motion?
Yes, I need a motion.
I make a motion for the adopting a resolution accepting the public infrastructure facilities for the Post Oak Point Section 3 in the city of Arcola.
Motion has been made by Councilmember Jones, second by Mayor Pro Tem Senko. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you.
Agenda item 11, contracts and agreements. 11A, discussion, consideration of, and possible action on adopting a resolution authorizing the mayor or designee to execute any and all documents related to the purchase of ordinance codification services from General Code LLC in the amount not to exceed $15,000 general fund. Dr. Annette Goldberg, City Administrator.
Actually, I'm going to ask if I can entertain a motion from the council to table this motion. We weren't able to have a workshop this week, and so I want to make sure that we get further information for us.
I make a motion that we table number 11A.
Motion has been made by Councilmember Jones, second by Mayor Pro Tem Senko. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion is passed to table this item.
12 ordinances. 12A, discussion, consideration of, and possible action on adopting an ordinance authorizing the mayor or designee to enter into a development agreement with Post Oak Point Ltd, providing for the terms of annexation and development of approximately 132 acres of primarily undeveloped land located at the southwest corner of the intersection of Finn Road and FM 521 in the ETJ of the city of Arcola. Justin Pruitt, City Attorney.
Look at my name on it. This is a massive undertaking on my piece. Big picture, I know about people who live there, on the budget side, and the city side, and the speaking of it now. But the big picture is that we, under the ordinance to annex the property, and that same, you do that through a development agreement. That development agreement, talk about the terms of annexation, but really the bigger thing that development agreement does is it sets out how the project's gonna be developed, all the rules for that project, all the building standards, all the roads are gonna look, all that stuff is built into that agreement. So instead of, a project coming in, maybe going through the, permitting process and all that, having to pick and choose the rules, up here, it's set from the beginning. So that's what this ordinance does, it annexes the property, and it puts on that property development standards that guide how everything's built. And so again, that's not just me that's done this. There's a massive group working on this on the development side and the city side. And so I think that your city administrator put together a summary of that.
Does anybody else? You wanna go? I want to take a moment to, I think it's the, summer. And we have been working on, this is something that started in 2021. And so it's just a continuation of a project that came to the city. Actually started 2019 and was expanded, amended in 2021. And this is a combination of that entire project. And Justin is right. We've been having lots of talks and a lot of people involved. And Councilmember Abor, I appreciate that you were at the table on some of this, or most whenever our meetings took place. And so, if you want to, hey, as a matter of fact, would y'all like to at this time have something to say that the developer is here? So you want to?
Good evening, Mayor and City Council.
Good evening.
And citizens of Arcola. Thank you for acknowledging what we've been working on for the past 4 years. I appreciate that. And yes, this is the culmination of a lot of collaboration, both beginning 3 years ago and culminating right now as just the next piece of the puzzle. I think that Lawrence alluded to it earlier in asking for this tie-in to 521 for an entrance, but it includes detention. And what happens there is we've had the benefit of being able to work with the Texas Department of Transportation for the last 2 years. And it's enabled us to create a general plan that the City Council has adopted that took some unused land that the state was going to use for detention and incorporate it into our community, and also allow the state to work with us to tie in the street North Pine into their traffic design for the expansion of 521. So it's not only beneficial to the city, but it's beneficial for mobility. In addition to that, I think that the opportunity to create long-term value for the city of Arcola, along with a roadmap as the city attorney, Mr. Pruitt, alluded to, is very significant and very positive, I think, for the city. I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any, but thank you for the opportunity to speak about it. I'd like to also acknowledge Tammy. She's been a big part of this as well. Thank you.
Shannon Corbett, it's been nice to see all of you, familiar faces and key faces of Arcola. There are many, amazing things that we hope that this additional annexation tract will bring to the city. From like an economic perspective, because you look at this from all directions, and we've all had this exercise and working together on this agreement. From an economic perspective, fully built out, this annexation tract will allow the management district to add about nearly $300 million of taxable value. Is the target goal that we have to the city of Arcola tax rolls, which is an incredible, I think it might be, it's close to 2 times, like doubling the city's tax value, which is something that's really exciting and hopefully allows, a lot of water and sewer revenue to come in, and not only in the interim, but also the long-term value that the city needs to grow and support and take on projects that it serve its citizens, which is super exciting. And we're happy, and we hope that we can get the opportunity to deliver that to you guys. Things that are not financial that are also included in this and maybe not outlined in the development agreement, but I've spoken about before. And you can even see this in the current 82-acre plan, the Section 1 plat that's been approved by the city in the currently annexed portion. Reverie Ranch is a memorial community to the community leaders and community activists from Arcola. We did kind of an open call, posted flyers around the community to create a community identity. And so many people offered up, and this is just one section of hopefully many, so more names to come. But it was such a pleasure to connect with the citizens, to name streets after the community heroes of this place. And we look forward to continuing to memorialize that, not just in the names, but hopefully with placards and crystallizing those stories together. So that was something special that will definitely be, if hopefully in this annexation tract as well, if the city moves to press this forward. But it is in the 82-acre plan right now, and we're really excited about that and loved connecting with the community in that way. So thank you for that opportunity. And I, of course, can answer any questions generally, but we'll let you guys deliberate. We'll stand up.
Something there, I think just to make sure it's clear, so I'm not sure what the whole development is in the packet, that we have that, the city has that. Just so you know that it's a substantial document. Public document. Substantially 80-something pages. A lot of that is the detailed plans and the ins and outs of the area and all the development standards that are there. That takes up a lot of the physical room on paper, so that's why it's so substantial. The way the ordinance is structured is if you adopt the ordinance, and like I said, just make sure that there's doing 2 things. It's authorizing the annexation of the property, and then also approving that development agreement. What will happen is the version that's here, there's a few minor things that are getting worked out, but the terms that have been presented right here on this development summary sheet, that is what is covered in here. Those can't change. If anything in the agreement, of any substantial nature whatsoever, it's changed or tries to get amended on the city side, the developer side, that will have to come back to you for approval. Assuming that doesn't happen, then if you approve the development agreement, what we're going to do and how this will work is we'll file this thing in the real property record of Fulton County, and then the property will notify the principal district and the commissioner's court that the property is going to be annexed into the city. So it'll move the boundaries. And then there's a development plan, and you see the executive summary of pretty much how this is going to play out. But over the time, there's going to be some type of large sewer connections that will happen, and then that site will be developed according to the terms. And then, if it develops according to plan, then you'll have the development when it's phased in. And then, if there's ever a chance that or anything needs to happen for the development agreement, something happens down the road and there's a problem, then what we do, the process to do that is we go back and we will have to do the process again, amend the development agreement, refile it, and that's how we do it. So this is not something that's just so we're clear, we're not putting an idea from you and then we'll go back and make the agreement. The agreement that you have is, unless there's minor changes that like for grammar or something like that, then we're not going to have anything come back to you again. But you will
any, if their development agreement is open record here at the city, it's going to file the record with the county, so it's not something that's locked away. And it is, we'll go with that, it's what they call a covenant loan with the land, means it's 25 years and more. And that, and those terms will dictate how development happens on that property for 25 years.
And even though it says, and I want y'all to be clear, even though it says that this ordinance would authorize the mayor to enter into a development agreement with Coastal Point, please know that nothing, I'm just gonna sign off on it if you all agree to this agreement. This is the council making this choice, not the mayor.
But it says mayor or designated, so it's
Yeah.
not just saying, putting it all on your shoulders.
Oh, yeah. Y'all are my designated.
You ready for a motion?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll make a motion on adopting an ordinance authorizing the mayor or designated to enter into a development agreement with Coastal Point Ltd, providing for the terms of annexation and development of approximately 132 acres of primarily undeveloped land located at the southwest corner of the intersection of Federal and FM 521 in the ETJ of the city of Arcola. Second.
Motion has been made by Councilmember Jones, second by Councilmember Bigby. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The motion is passed.
12B, discussion, consideration of, and possible action on adopting an ordinance amending the city of Arcola fee schedule for certain residential permit fees. Mayor Williams.
On this item, because we didn't get it in complete form, but let me tell you what the gist of this is. I believe that we were trying to put forward something because the fee schedule, I think it was reflective of the commercial, the new development that's coming to the city. So the fees, I felt like, for existing residents should be reduced so that if they want to improve their property, upgrade their property, they don't have to pay the same cost for fees and permits and stuff that the new development is paying. And so we were trying to adjust those fees to reflect actually a substantial reduction, 50% reduction in those fees for existing residents. If you are an existing resident and you are building on another lot new, you got to go with new development terms. But if you have a home in the city, we believe that you should get the opportunity to upgrade your property at a reduced cost. So that is reduced rate. So we didn't get it to you in time to do the ordinance. So we will entertain a motion to table this, but that is what this ordinance will be. To pay to reduce those fees for existing residents.
Second.
12B.
Oh, 12B on reducing.
Can I get a motion has been made by Mayor Pro Tem Ebony Sanko, second by Councilmember Jones to table the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The motion is tabled. Thank you. At this time, the City Council will convene into closed executive session as authorized under sections 551.071 and 551.074 of the Texas Government Code for consultation with attorney.